Good evening, this is Chuck W30N. Excuse me. Operating as W30C. Net control for the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club net. This net meets every Monday here at 8 p.m. on the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club repeater system, operating on 147.12 megahertz and 442.250 megahertz. And we're also linked in through Echolink over the internet. Membership in the Two Rivers ARC is not required to check into this net, as all radio amateurs are welcome. If you'd like information about the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club, you can write to us at P.O. Box 225, Greenock, PA, zip code 15047. We're also on the Internet's World Wide Web at https://trarc.org, and also on Facebook. Radio Club meetings are held on the third Tuesday of every month, except in December, starting at 7 p.m. at the Blaney Volunteer Fire Department, Social Hall, 409 Oxford Avenue, Elizabeth, PA. We're up in the set for checking into emergency or priority traffic at this time. All right, does anyone have listings of the amateur radio silent keys? Radio amateurs recently passed away.
This is KA3YGL with the silent key.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's his name is Tim Kowalczyk, and his call sign was KB3REN, and he's from Carmichael's in Greene County.
Okay, Tim, can you spell his last name, please?
Sure, it's Kilo, Oscar, Victor, Alpha, Lima, Charlie, Hotel, Echo, Charlie, Kilo, KOVALCHECK. You got it?
Hey, Kilo Bravo 3 Radio Echo Mexico, is that correct?
Bravo 3 Radio Echo November.
Roger, thank you. I got it. Thank you. Thank you, K3YGL W30N. W30C. Thank you. All right. I have two silent keys to list here. We just got this one from Tim Kowalczyk, Kilo Bravo 3 Radio Echo November, and also our 39th president, Jimmy Carter, who just passed away yesterday. So this time, would you please, we're going to stand by in remembrance of these two fine gentlemen. It's W3OC.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. God bless the silent key.
Okay, this is W3OC. Thank you all for standing by in remembrance of our silent keys. Okay, let's continue on here a little bit. I've got a news line keyed up on the computer. We have some local amateur radio information news, at least what I could find, and some other activities of the Two Rivers Club. We have a bunch of radio nets that meets during the week. There's a total of 4. Of course, this is one of them. Wednesday evenings at 8:30 p.m. on this repeater system, 147.12, 442.250, and on Echolink, it's the Two Rivers ARC GabNet. That's a social gathering. You should welcome to join us for that. Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. on frequency 28460 kilohertz up on the 10-meter band. Sometimes we move frequency a little bit on that. Again, it's another version of the Two Rivers ARC GabNet. And on Friday nights at 6 p.m. on the 40-meter band, frequency 7215 kilohertz, plus or minus that, depending on band activity. So you're welcome to join us. It's also a version of the GabNet, and we're welcome to always join us in any of these kind of activities. The Radio Club also has on the second Thursday of each month, we have a thing called the Operations Night. It's a social activity and also an NHF operating event, and it's open to the amateur radio public, and you don't have to be a member to attend. It starts at 7 p.m., and currently we're using the Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department Social Hall, 4312 Liberty Way up in Elizabeth, PA. And then on the second Saturday of each month, we have the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club, the Hams and Eggs Breakfast. That's for anybody that wishes to join us. We use a local restaurant. Starts at 9:30 a.m. Currently, we're using the Rock Run Inn. That's located at Butler's Golf Course over on Rock Run Road in Elizabeth, PA. You're welcome to join us for any of these kind of activities. Of course, we have other activities we run during the course of the year. We participate in some of the contests, including Winter Field Day, ARL, Summer Field Day activity, and that's in late June. And we also have amateur radio exam sessions 4 times a year. I think the next one is in March at the McKeesport Area High School. They start at 6:30 p.m. So we don't have one of them. And we also have an exam session at the Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club Ham Fest. The radio club also has a picnic for club members and their family, usually in August. So you can see we're quite active with a lot of social activities. Let's see what else. And of course, the Ham Fest will be coming up. I got the flyer has just been released. You can find it on our website, TRARC.org, on the Ham Fest page up there. And that's the 53rd Annual Two Rivers Amateur Radio Club Ham Fest and Computer Show. April the 6th, 8 a.m. to noon. Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department, number 184. That's what the thing is. It's called. It's a social hall. 4312 Liberty Way, Elizabeth, PA, zip code 15037. Prizes have already been enlisted. Let's see. Our Hamfest chairman is John, Kilo 3 Charlie Radio Oscar. I guess if somebody wants more information, they can call one of the assistants. Try 412-260-5699. 412-260-5699. So that's coming up on April the 6th of good old 2025. Okay, that's the radio club activities. Okay, looking at the regular calendar of events coming up. Starting tomorrow night is the Straight Key Night. The ARL sponsors that. It's on the HF bands. Technically, it's January 1st. The idea is for amateur radio operators to operate with a straight key, a single key, and then you can get evaluated. People give little reports on how you sound, and I think there's awards for it. I never participated in that, but technically it comes up on January 1st. That's only a day or two from now. Okay, Hamfest January 11th is Winterfest in Harrisburg, PA. That's at a veterans building in Harrisburg. I've got to get more information on that. Also, January 11th is the Wires Association of South Hills 2-meter contest. That's simplex only, 2 meter at 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. No repeaters, all modes, single sideband AM, FM, digital. It's quite active. I participate in that each year. Of course, 25th and 26th of January is the Winter Field Day. Two Rivers is going to be at Lincoln Borough Volunteer Fire Department, 184, 4312 Liberty Way. You're welcome to come out and join us for that. That's a 2-day affair. In February the 23rd is the Wires Association of South Hills Hamfest at the Home Economics Building at 3735 Buffalo Drive in the South Park, Pennsylvania, at South Park, Allegheny County, South Park. Of course, the Two Rivers Hamfest, April the 6th. We're going to run classes this year, starting April 17th for people who want to obtain the technician class license. Starts April 17th and run for six sessions in a row, 6 weeks in a row, 1 session each week. Right now, the preliminary is at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the technician class license class. It's going to be free for those who wish to attend. So we'll have more information as we get a little bit closer. Okay. All right. I think that's kind of what I got. Does anybody need any repeats for anything they've heard? This is W3OC. Okay. All right. I'm going to start taking check-ins here in a moment. I think for giggles, I'm going to start off. Is anybody on Echo Link that would like to check in? Call now.
This is Kilo Charlie 3 Zulu India X-Ray, Jeff in Irwin. Good evening, everybody. I have no traffic for the net.
Give me the last three letters of your call.
Zulu India X-Ray, ZIX.
Okay, that's Jeff, right?
Yes, that's correct. This is Jeff in Irwin.
Okay, Jeff, Kilo Charlie 3 Zulu India X-Ray. Anybody else on Echolink? Not heard. All right, let's continue on. Anybody from the board of directors wishing to check in? Anybody from the Two Rivers board of directors wishing to check in?
Net control. Net control, recognize Kilo 3, Charlie, Romeo, Oscar, John, Baldwin, no comments, no traffic.
Hey, got Kilo 3 Charlie Radio Oscar. Hello, John, good evening. Anybody else from the board of directors? Not heard. All right, now we'll take conversation regarding mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County.
W3OC, please welcome AA3MR, Walt Clerton Works. Good evening to you, Chuck. Everybody on in that? Happy New Year. No comments.
3OC. Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel Bill in Hancock County, West Virginia. Everyone have a Happy New Year and thanks for picking me up. AB3OXH back to the net. W3OC. W3OC, here's Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sierra Papa, Dan, Beaver County. Good evening, Chuck. Good evening to the net. Happy New Year's to one and all. W3OC. 3OC. Here is Kilo Alpha 3, Yankee Golf Lima, Bruce in South Connersville, Fayette County. Just want to say Happy New Year to all, and thanks for taking the silent key there, Chuck. This is KA3YGL, back to net. W3OC. This is Whiskey November 8, Kilo X-Ray Yankee. Bill in Weirton, West Virginia. Want to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and thanks for picking me up. WN8KXY, back to net.
At 3OC. Again, November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform, Norman Penn, Westmoreland County, Portable. Good evening, Chuck. Happy New Year to all.
Thank you. I got an Alpha 3 Mike Radio Portable, Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar X-Ray Hotel, Kilo Bravo 3 Victor Sugar Papa, Kilo Alpha 3 Yankee Golf Lima, Whiskey November 8, Kilo X-Ray Yankee, and November 3 Tango Alpha Uniform Portable. Anybody else mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County?
W3OC, please recognize Kilo Charlie 3 Victor Yankee Mike, Wes from Jefferson Hills.
Okay, Kilo Charlie 3 Victor Yankee Mexico. Alrighty, anybody else mobile, portable, or outside of Allegheny County? Alright, now we'll open up for general check-ins. Anybody else with your check-in calling up?
W3OC, Whiskey Alpha 3 IOU, and I hope everybody has a good New Year's.
3 Kilo Sierra Papa, Jim and Carnegie. Happy New Year to one and all.
Net Control. This is November 3, Juliet Papa, Quebec. Kurt in North Versailles. Good evening to the net. No comments.
W3OC. There is Kilo 3 Hotel India Romeo, Merle and Elizabeth Township. Good evening, Chuck. Wish everyone a Happy New Year. Okay, that time I got Whiskey America 3 India Oscar Uniform, Kilo Alpha 3 Kilo Sugar Papa, November 3 Juliet Papa, Quebec, and Kilo 3 Hotel India Radio. Good evening, all. Nice to hear your voices in there tonight. Anybody else, please?
W3OC. This is November 3 Alpha Hotel Charlie. And Tony here in Pittsburgh on Echo Link. Good evening, Chuck, and those on the net. I hope everyone has a Happy New Year. No traffic.
So it starts for Wednesday, I guess. So
wow.
If you have to be out and about, just be careful driving
okay,
around.
That didn't even get me. Okay, that's
hopefully,
wow.
hopefully the weather cooperates. I don't know if we're gonna get whacked with anything bigger, not like some of that stuff we just recently had. Hopefully, we won't have much more of that. Okay. All right. I guess I'm done with this. Let me flip over this to Dewfly. Let's see what they got tonight. This W3OC.
Four, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. A rocket explosion destroys hopes for Taiwan's newest ham satellite. Germany's National Ham Radio Society finds its voice on shortwave from England. And hams pay tribute to the silent keys who shaped their lives. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2461 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
A much-anticipated ham radio satellite built by students in Taiwan never made it into orbit. The rocket self-destructed, as we hear from Jim Meechan, ZL2 BHF.
Taiwan's Paris T1A satellite was to become one of the newest FM repeaters in space, but it never got a chance. The rocket was aborted by Japanese startup Space One right after liftoff on Wednesday, December 17th. The rocket destroyed itself, according to news reports. Engineer Mamoru Endo, a company executive, said that an autonomous safety mechanism triggered the destruction, likely after a first-stage engine or control system abnormality caused the rocket to become unstable. Hams worldwide had anticipated the eventual orbit of the 3U CubeSat, which had an FM crossband repeater and an APRS digipeater on 145.825 MHz, the same frequency as the International Space Station's APRS channel. Meanwhile, the amateur satellite known as Paris T1 is being scheduled for launch by SpaceX in January, carrying an APRS store and forward system. Both satellites were student projects at National Formosa University. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
Yes, there's a way to extend the holiday season for just a few more days. The International Space Station has been giving hams an opportunity to participate in a slow-scan TV event that began on Christmas Day, December 25th, and runs through the 5th of January. It's an experiment known as Expedition 72, the ARIS Series 23 single-sideband TV experiment. Transmissions of images are being sent via the RS-0 ISS station, operating on 145.8 megahertz, using the PD-120 mode. Once you're done decoding the images, you can send them to ARIS and apply for an award. See the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. Once again, as before, a bill to mandate AM broadcast radio in U.S. vehicles has died without lawmakers taking action. We have that update from Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
Attempts have once again stalled for a measure that would require AM broadcast radio in all new vehicles sold in the United States. Despite the bipartisan support for it in the U.S. Congress, the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act fell victim on the 17th of December to scrambling by lawmakers in Washington, D.C. Those members of Congress faced a deadline to pass a measure that would keep the government funded through March 14th and avoid a widespread shutdown. CBS News reported that the lawmakers' stopgap spending measure reached mid-month would solve the greater issue, but in doing so would cut several items, including the AM radio mandate for vehicles. The National Association of Broadcasters was among those expressing disappointment, since AM radio is considered a valuable resource for transmitting public safety information during emergencies. The makers of semi-electric cars would like AM radio vehicles' electronic systems interfere with AM reception. The bill is not dead, however. Many advocates plan to take up the measure.
From rock climbing and archery to cooking and attending concerts. Naturally, amateur radio will be involved. Scouts will be calling CQ with special call sign VI2025AJ from the 5th of January through to the 16th. There'll be 2 HF stations operating SSB and FT8. EQSL cards will be sent at the end of each day, directly from the Jamboree site. This is your chance to get in on some of the adventure. The Jamboree is the 26th such event for the Scouts. Those who do not attend this time around will have to wait until 2029. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
It's time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the 9Z4RG repeater on Saturdays at 1200 UTC in
W3OC.
In northern New York State, a rescue group is experiencing a resurgence, and they've got a grant to help them update their emergency radios. Andy Morrison, K9 AWM, tells us about them.
30 is the magic number for members of Search and Rescue of the Adirondacks, an organization in the northern mountains of New York State. Known by the acronym SARNAC, the group is marking its 30th year with a core group of 30 volunteers. It is also preparing for the arrival of 30 new radios, the result of a grant of more than $6,000 from the town of North Elba. This will enable SARNAC to continue its mission to support search and rescue missions by replacing its second-hand fire department radios with updated communication equipment. The new radios will have longer-lasting batteries and a greater range than the 40-kilometer radius surrounding the local repeater. They will also have digital capability. Coordinator Jeff Berry, KE2DKA, told the Lake Placid News that SARNAC has been experiencing a resurgence since the challenges of the pandemic eased up and is now inspired to expand its community engagement. He said volunteers have already begun doing more local public service activities, providing support to major races and other events, including the 90-mile Adirondack Canoe Classic. SARNAC has had support, too, from local ham radio clubs, including the Adirondack Amateur Radio Association and the High Peaks Amateur Radio Group. Although SARNAC members such as Elena Lumby, KE2DJC, and Joe Shoemaker, K2SHU, already have their ham licenses, the group plans to use the grant money to help fund training so that more search and rescue volunteers can become hams too. That will hopefully carry them and SARNAC's important work for at least another 30 years. I'm Andy Morrison, K9 AWM.
Satellite enthusiasts have until the 10th of January to submit their logs for contacts made during the global competition that celebrated the 22nd anniversary of the launching of SO-50, also known as SaudiSat 1C. The low Earth orbit satellite was the centerpiece of the event organized by the Saudi Amateur Radio Society between the 13th and the 22nd of December. Hams were challenged to make as many contacts as possible in different Maidenhead grid squares. To submit your logs or get technical help, see the email addresses in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. In the world of DX, listen for Billy, F4GJE, who will be in Africa through early January. He will be using the call sign C5RK from the Gambia on the 4th and 5th of January before moving on to Senegal. He will operate from Senegal on the 11th and 12th of January using the call sign 6W1RD. Billy will operate single sideband and FT8/FT4 on 80 through 10 meters. All QSLs are via EA7 FTR. Eldir PY1SAD will operate as 8R1TM from Georgetown, Guyana from the 1st of January through to the 8th of February. He will be using CW, single sideband, and digital modes on all bands. He will also operate via satellite. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for Earl, WA3DX, who is operating from Trinidad as 9Y4/WA3DX from the 29th of December to the 14th of January using FT8 and FT4. Find Earl on 40 through 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. As the year draws to a close, it's only natural to look back on the moments that made up 2024. We also think of those whose signals have long since gone silent. That was the purpose of the K4S Silent Keys special event, which began at the time of the Thanksgiving holiday here in the U.S. and ended just as December began. We hear more from Ralph Squillace, KK6, ITB.
The hams in Georgia's Statesboro Amateur Radio Society remember them all. The radio operators who have come and gone from the air and from their lives, but have left an enduring mark. Inspired by this season of gratitude and reflection, club member Gene Britt, KM4QQU, suggested that club members activate a special event station that wasn't just another activity, but a big thank you to the silent keys who shaped their lives. Buddy Horn, AJ4BH, the club's repeater trustee and former secretary, told Newsline, quote, "Just about every ham could relate to one or more silent keys who encouraged them," end quote. The week was filled with QSOs from CW and SSB contacts, but that wasn't the end of it. Buddy told Newsline he made about a third of his contacts via slow scan TV and logged some international contacts on FT8. He said another club member, Anna Davis, KO4JKO, checked into a YLnet on Echolink that is based in India. She was able to hear remembrances and make note of the call signs of influential silent keys of years past. Buddy said this special event isn't likely to be a one-time thing. Club members are already looking forward to bringing it back in 2025. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6 ITB.
Say farewell to 2024 by sending in your amateur radio haiku for Newsline's Haiku Challenge. It's as easy as writing a QSL card. Set your thoughts down using traditional haiku format, a 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. Submit your work on our website at arnewsline.org. With thanks to the Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT News Service, Buddy Horn, AJ4BH, CBS, David Behar, K7DB, 425DX News, the Lake Placid News, QRZ Forums, RadioWorld.com, ShortwaveRadio.de, SpaceNews.com, the SWLing Post, Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operations. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
Hey, it's W3OC. That concludes this week's Newsline transmission. Let's see, where's I want to get up to take a look at the ARRL bulletin. I think I have it here somewhere. Okay, looking at the ARRL bulletin. This is dated the 26th of December. This is for those interested in the world of DXing. Let's see, some of the items listed include Mauritius. That's an island down in the Indian Ocean. 3BH/Delta Juliet 2 Tango Golf is. Oh, that one probably ended. It said ended on December 30th. That's today. Guyana, Trinidad. These are some of the ones that are listed. Galapagos, that's down off South America. That's near Ecuador. Dominica. Ogasawara, that's an island off of Japan. It's also called Chichijima. That's good to January 3rd. Marianas Islands. Kilo Hotel Zero prefix. Denmark's running a special event called Oscar Zulu 400 POST. That's until January 5th. It's a 400th anniversary of the Royal Danish Post Office, established in December 24, 1624. Think about that. The East Kiribati operation, T-32 Tango, I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. It's going to be ending on the 1st. Those guys are going to be heading back home. That's a Rebel DX group. Cameroon, East Russia, St. Kitts and Nevis. India, they're running a special call sign, Alpha Tango 2025, on January 15th, until January 15th. This weekend on the radio, let's see, they got the Stu Perry Top Band CW Challenge. I think it's 160 meters. The NCC FT4 Sprint, that's a digital thing, a weekly RTTY test. A QRP 160 meter CW Fox Hunt. NCC CW Sprint again. K1 USN Sled Speed CW test. Winter contest. So there's not a huge amount of contesting stuff going on, but there's a lot of DXing going on. So I encourage you to try to do that. Band conditions have still been pretty decent. At least, I think we had a solar week. One day, I can't remember what day it was, but you're welcome to listen to that stuff. I'll tell you one thing I found interesting. Lately, I've been messing around with shortwave listening, and very interesting to hear some of the stuff that's on there. A lot of people think shortwave listening or shortwave broadcasting is done. It is not. It has shrunk in size as far as the amount of countries that are doing it, but there's still quite a bit of it being done. I was monitoring a station yesterday morning about 11 o'clock on frequency 25,800 kilohertz. That's below the CB band, slightly below it. And there's a popular music station that operates from Denmark, which I was copying or hearing for quite a while. So they only run, I think, 130 watts on shortwave, but I was hearing them quite loudly. So you might be interested in that kind of stuff. There are all kinds of books and things out there that you can get. The latest World Radio TV Handbook is probably one of the premier books. It's currently in production. It's not inexpensive, but it's a good source for that kind of stuff. Of course, there's stuff on the internet too. Shortwave Info is a website that has a lot of information like that on too. Okay. With that, I'm going to take a standby and see if anybody else wishes to check in. It's W3OC. going to close the net out this hour. It's 8:42 p.m. 01:43 UTC. See my picture 7 and 12, 13. We got 14 check-ins this evening. Thank you all for taking the time to check in with us this evening. And beyond behalf of the Radio Club, definitely want to make sure and wish you all a very happy New Year. With that, we're going to turn the repeater back to General Emmett Hughes. It's W3OC, also known as W3O, and closing the 2 net. Good night.